Hey, Link, I just beat Mega Man X again. What do you mean? I don't have any unfinished games. I mean, other than Splatoon 2, Yoshi's Crafted World, Fire Emblem, Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga, any of the Pokemon games, Doom, God of War, Spider-Man, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, Super Paper Mario, Metroid Prime, Final Fantasy X. Okay, now I see where you're coming from. Imagine being me, not playing more than an hour of Luigi's Mansion 3 despite beating the 2 games prior, but deciding to beat Mega Man X 4 times. I've beaten this game more than any other. Why? Well, obviously, I love it. I guess it's kind of a spoiler for my opinion on it, but I can't really mask that when almost everything about this game is perfect. It's also super short. I've played Persona 5 for almost as much as Mega Man X, but I'm still in the first dungeon of that game. I could beat Mega Man X in under 2 hours, almost 100% completing it. When getting gameplay for this video, I beat the entire thing in one sitting. While ultimately unimportant, I think I should inform you of the story behind the events of Mega Man X. We're gonna be here a while. Okay, I'll try to keep this as brief as possible. The Mega Man franchise has 6 main sub-series of games: Mega Man Classic, Mega Man X, Mega Man Zero, Mega Man Battle Network, Mega Man Star Force, and Mega Man Legends. We only need to worry about the first 2 right now. Mega Man X takes place 100 years after the events of the classic Mega Man series, so to understand the plot of X, you need to learn the plot of Classic. Luckily, that's pretty simple. In the year 20XX, an inventor named Dr. Thomas Light created various robots to carry out tasks that were dangerous to humans. Dr. Albert Wily, an old friend of Dr. Light, said, "Hey, I'm evil now," and took his robots and made them evil. Dr. Light created Mega Man to stop the evil robots and defeat Dr. Wily. Though defeat is a pretty strong word. Mega Man just kind of lets him go. And then he does that 10 more times, 16 if you count the handheld games. But none of that really matters. What's important is that the late Dr. Light creates Mega Man X, a more powerful version of Mega Man, usually referred to in-game as just X. X was created to be, in case of bad, break glass. There was bad. A lot of bad. Though that's not actually the reason X came to life. He was actually released because a scientist named Dr. Kane found his capsule on April 14th. They don't know the year, but they know for sure it was April 14th. In the future, the world is predominantly inhabited by Reploids, robots created to be like humans. I mean, I'm assuming it's mostly them because we rarely ever actually get to see humans in the games. Now here's where the bad comes in. Due to improper programming, some Reploids got a virus known as the Maverick virus, which made them evil. Get it? Cause Maverick means unorthodox? Though some Reploids decide to become Mavericks of their own free will. Why? I don't know, childhood trauma? Anyway, Sigma, the leader of the Maverick Hunters, ironically gets the Maverick virus and becomes the leader of the Mavericks. That's pretty much it for the story. I'd just like to say, since this game takes place in the year 21XX, if I don't see a real-life Mega Man X by the year 2199, I will be very upset. You'll probably even find me dead the next day. Now time to get to the important part. Gameplay. I can play a game with a terrible story if it makes up for it with amazing gameplay. It doesn't work the other way around. So how's the gameplay in Mega Man X? This game has what I'd consider the best gameplay of any Mega Man game, and maybe even 2D platformer. It's basically an evolution of classic Mega Man gameplay. In Mega Man, you jump, you shoot, sometimes you can charge shot, sometimes you can't. In Mega Man X, you jump, you shoot, and you charge shot. It also introduces a wall jump, and unlike games like Mario, you can jump up just one wall. Those are your basic abilities, but as the game progresses, you'll find more. The main theme of Mega Man X is growing stronger, which is seen through the constant upgrades you'll find while exploring its stages. The main upgrade is the Heart Tank, which slightly raises your maximum health. Another upgrade is the Sub Tank, which can be used to heal you at any time. You have to fill them up though. This can be achieved by collecting health drops while at max HP. But the most important upgrades are the capsules. Upon finding a capsule, you'll get a transmission from Dr. Light explaining what the capsule is designed to give you. Each capsule gives you a certain ability. 2 are required, 2 are not. Usually, the first ability found is the dash. Mega Man X is the only game in the series where dashing is not available from the start of the game. Even though getting it is mandatory, the game is designed to be completely beatable without dashing, making it an ability for skilled players for me, who will risk being more open to damage to get through levels quicker. The other required ability is the Buster upgrade. Before opening the capsule, you can charge your shots up to 3 levels. The upgrade allows you to charge your Buster to a 4th level, which shoots through the enemies it kills and even puts a temporary shield behind you. The other 2 abilities, unfortunately, aren't quite as great. The head upgrade allows you to break certain blocks, but it's really too situational to be a cool upgrade. The body upgrade is definitely useful, since it halves all damage you take, but it doesn't have the same effect of getting a new ability like the dash. Plus, the mid-boss you have to fight to get it has way too much health. This part is in the video because I don't know how to transition into talking about the game's structure. Unlike prior Mega Man games, Mega Man X has an intro stage. It's perfect. It's not too difficult and it introduces you to the game's mechanics without forcing them down your throat. Unlike Fire Emblem for the Game Boy Advance, which on your first playthrough requires you to go through a tutorial that lasts more than 4 hours. At the end of the stage, you fight Vile for the first time. It's an unwinnable battle, but it establishes a rivalry between you and Vile that continues for a whole 3 games. It's also the first time you see the cool ride armor, but the coolness of that, Vile, X, and everything else you've seen so far combined is nothing compared to the coolness of Zero.
No, this isn't happening! There's no reason for me to go on. What? What am I fighting for?
Okay, we don't need to bring that up, but Zero is the coolest character in any video game ever. Zero's my spirit animal. Zero tells you you're not strong enough to take down Vile yet, which sets up the theme of getting stronger. The rest of the game is standard fare for Mega Man. You take down 8 bosses in any order. When that's done, you go through 4 fortress stages before taking down Sigma himself. After clearing a stage, you gain access to a weapon that represents that boss. Every boss has a specific weapon they're weak to, creating a rock, paper, scissors scenario. Each of the bosses are something combined with an animal. For example, Chill Penguin or Armored Armadillo. Some are cooler than others, like Storm Eagle is way cooler than Sting Chameleon. Or Boomer Kuwanger. What the heck even is a Kuwanger? When I look it up in Google, the only image results are the boss. Some people understand my pain. Apparently, Kuwanger is another word for a beetle. Why not just call him a beetle? So let's talk about the stages. They are absolutely fantastic. From icy slopes to a somehow fun water stage, the locations are diverse and a ton of fun to play through. The best stage is the one for my second favorite character, Storm Eagle. His stage tasks you with infiltrating and eventually destroying an airship base. That is cool. Not as cool as Zero, but still pretty dang cool. And not a single one of the stages are bad. Boomer Beetle's stage is easily the worst, but it's still not downright bad. And if the stages are great, I don't even know what word to use to describe the music. Every single track in this game is something I could listen to for hours on end. Some of my personal favorites are Storm Eagle, Armored Armadillo, and Sigma's first phase. But the absolute best track in the entire game is Spark Mandrill's theme. But what about the bosses themselves? Are they fun to fight? Yeah, most of them are completely fair battles that are more challenging without the weapon they're weak to. Most of them. Though some bosses become too easy when you have their weakness. There's a reason why Spark Mandrill Syndrome is a recurring term. On a side note, the completionist is now part of the Mega Man canon. The worst boss is the stupid dumb boss spider thing from the first fortress stage. It moves way too fast. About the weapons, do you honestly think they aren't great? I mean, the rolling shield is pretty useless and the shotgun ace isn't that good, but all the rest are really cool. Like the homing torpedo. It's a homing torpedo! The best one is the Storm Tornado, because Storm Eagle just has the best everything. Except music, that's still Spark Mandrill. The Storm Tornado fires in a vertical or horizontal tornado that hits multiple times in succession. The best weapon in the game is actually the X-Buster though. Regardless of that, there's always places where every weapon is the optimal choice for the scenario. Yes, even the rolling shield. Is there even anything wrong with this game? Well, I do have a couple nitpicks. I do find the game to be a little easy, but that could definitely be because I play it so much. Also, the fight was vile. The fight's not bad or anything, but it's more the story with it that I don't like. I mentioned before that Vile couldn't be defeated because of his ride armor. Well, luckily for you, Zero kills himself to destroy the ride armor. Yeah, okay, we know he'll be back. He's on the cover of X4. But why can't I defeat Vile? I took down other guys in ride armor just fine with my Buster. You even get to use the ride armor yourself in specific sections of the levels. And here's my complaint. Why isn't the fight with Vile a one-on-one with ride armors? That would be so awesome. Of course, neither of these nitpicks really changed my opinion on the game at all, but there's something that does. The worst part of this game by far is the final boss fight. The fight begins by fighting Sigma's dog. It's a pretty tough fight actually, but soon you'll be fighting Sigma himself. The fight isn't difficult in the slightest. He just wall jumps for the entire fight. But the real pain comes from his second phase, Wolf Sigma. He throws so much at you during this boss fight, plus you need to ride on his hand things just to damage him. And the weapon he's weak to is the rolling shield, the one that gets affected by gravity. But the worst part is, if you die here, you have to do all 3 fights over again. Once you finally beat Sigma, X escapes and the fortress explodes. Then there's a text crawl about X's depression fueled by the war. You see, X is something called a pacifist. Yes, he did kill all those robots, probably hundreds of them, but we don't have to bring that up. He asked himself when the fighting will end, but apparently only the X-Buster on his arm knows. The game ends with Sigma promising to return. I think it worked considering he's in every other game in the series. Well, that's it for Mega Man X. If you're asking for my opinion on it, you clearly did not watch the video. It's one of my favorite games of all time. It's up there with all these. If you're watching this video and haven't played the game yet, find a way to play it ASAP. While you're doing that, I'm going to become as cool as Zero. Yeah. Well, looks like being cool just isn't for me. I guess there's only one thing left to do now. I'm going to play Tomodachi Life for the Nintendo 3DS. That'll show anyone who thinks I'm cool.